Oh, my back. Oh, jeez. Really don't joke when they say with age comes agonizing back pain. Okay, we should be live again now, hopefully. Not really sure what happened last time. It said that we were reconnected, but the chat was dead. So whether or not that was a YouTube problem or if we were genuinely still disconnected, I don't really know. But we are back for now. Just for reference, could you guys let me know what the last thing you guys saw before we redid the live? I was showing off the Da Vinci tank model, which somebody requested to see, and then I remembered that that part of the museum tends to have a dropout when it comes to internet connection. So, do you have to book or to come, or can I just pull up? You can pull up, although it would probably be better to just book anyway. I can't quite remember off the top of my head, but I think you get a discount if you book online rather than just buying at the door. So yeah, definitely worth booking. Also, in the event that we happen to be really, really busy, it's also just a bit of a fail-safe. So would definitely recommend booking online. So let's go through where can I book online? If you go onto our page, as in this page, our YouTube page, we should have a link there for the Tank Museum. Otherwise, you can just put tankmuseum.org and there will be a section where you can book yourself a ticket. So yes, what's your least favorite tank? Oh, that's a different question. What is my least favorite tank? I'm actually not sure off the top of my head. I know I don't know if this is really to do with the tank or rather the sort of fandom around it. I'm not the biggest fan of like the German stuff, and I don't really mean like I don't like German tanks. I think some of them get a bit, as some people would say, glazed. But I wouldn't say I don't think any of them are my least favorite. That would be something for me to think about. That's my least favorite tank. Can you show us the backside of BMP, please? To the gutter with you. I have actually done a video on that, more of like a meme video. But the BMP is in our Vehicle Conservation Center, which is not. Basically, there isn't a BMP in this building, so I cannot show you that, I'm afraid. Can you do a video on Indian tanks? That's an interesting suggestion. A while back, I was doing a bit of research on people of color and was going into stuff like the Indian Volunteer Army and stuff like that. And I think they had a couple of armored vehicles, one of which we were quite eager to get. But it's something I'll definitely suggest it. We don't have any Hungarian-made tanks, I'm afraid. What is the Italian tank behind the Matilda? So that is one of only 2 Italian tanks in our collection. That's the M1441. It wasn't great. A lot of these that were sent into action by the Italians essentially broke down. The armor was also of very poor quality. So if you were hit in certain places, depending on the situation, parts of the armor could literally just split apart. There used to be a mannequin inside here. It was proper scary. But yes, so that's the M1441. Guys, do you know what our other Italian tank is? Have a guess of what our other Italian tank is whilst I go to it so I can show it to you. Nerd. Y'all are nerds. But you're also correct. We're all nerds here anyway. So, okay, guys, I hope you can prepare yourself physically and mentally. I present to you the Carro Veloce, the L335. The small boy. And as I like to describe it, the spicy Italian meatball variant, because this one is packing a flamethrower. Very, very cool. The child, yes. I would like to see the baby. Anyway, yes. So there you go. At the back, you've got the trailer rather. That would have all the petroleum / napalm. And that is the inside. I apologize that you won't be able to see it, if at all, really, because of the perspex. But yes, that is a machine gun in there. Anyone who doesn't appreciate the tank in general is no friend of mine. A valid take. Very valid. Let's go for a few more questions. What's with the footprints? So we have footprints all over our gallery, just to kind of give people an idea of what order to look. Sorry, let me do that again. To give people an idea of where to go and in what order to explore the exhibition. There we go, nailed it that time. So yeah, the child. Pasta and pizza delivery car. Yes, sure thing, sure thing. Ah yes, the Vespa of tanks. That I think would be the Vespa 150 TAP. The Vespa with a recoilless rifle in it. Show us your prototype and experimental armored fighting vehicles. Unfortunately, that's mainly in the Vehicle Conservation Center, which we can do next time we go live. We can do that. But yeah, most of the stuff in the main museum is stuff that's kind of more important historically in terms of the story of the tank and the people that serve in them. We do have an AMX-13 and an AMX-30, but not an AMX-50. My family served in the wars in tanks. Grandpop's a PT-76, Dad in a T-72, and now I'm a pilot. Very cool. Funnily enough, I also wanted to be a pilot when I was younger. I wanted to be a fighter pilot in the RAF, and now I work on a base that is operated by the Army. There's a little bit of irony in that, but anyway. But yeah. Oh, guys, hold on. There's a genuinely good question that I think needs to be addressed, and we have to basically address this question for the next 4 years onwards whilst we do our King Tiger restoration. So, in regards to the 50 Tiger II turrets, the pre-production turrets for the King Tiger, by the way, guys, King Tiger, were they made by Krupp or Porsche? The turrets were made by Krupp. Now, the confusion regarding whether or not it was if it was made by Krupp or Porsche is that Krupp designed the pre-production turret to go on a Porsche chassis of a Tiger II, which never materialized. So as a result, they ended up just putting the pre-production turret onto the Henschel hull. So that means, guys, and I implore you, please remember this, because it saves us having to do it as much. The pre-production Tiger II has nothing on it designed or built by Porsche. But the turret was designed to go on a Porsche Tiger II chassis, which never materialized. Which is why whenever someone says, have you got a Porsche Tiger II? I get like low-key triggered inside because there never was one. But it's one of those things that is genuinely a bit confusing. Some people describe the pre-production Tiger II as the Tiger II P. P does stand for Porsche, but it's because the turret was designed to go on a Porsche hull that never materialized. So it's a little bit confusing. What did the Porsche Tiger II hull look like? It didn't look like that. That's the best I can do right now without posting pictures, which I don't think I can do because this is a live stream. Is it an 88mm? Yes, this is an 88mm gun. Guys, I'm gonna let you boop the snoot. Boop the snoot. That is a very cool view. You might even be able to see the rifling at the end of the barrel there. So there you go. Oh, let's make it like really dramatic. Ooh, Oh yeah, that's the money shot. Can you shoot it? No, we cannot. Because, guys, do you know why we couldn't shoot this right now? Because if we shot this right now, it would go straight through that screen there. Actually, hold on, that's not a screen, that's a, well, it's not a digital screen, there's a projector over there. Anyway, sorry, rambling. So yes, we can't shoot it because if we did, it would go straight through that. Guys, if anyone here does come and visit the museum, I appreciate that majority of people watching probably won't ever visit the museum. If you do visit the museum, I would strongly recommend checking out the audio visuals around the museum, especially this screen right here, where you've got 6 different pieces of video. One that talks about battles, emotions, enemy tanks, life on board a tank, logistics, and reflections. All of these are told by ex-service members of the Royal Armoured Corps that served in World War II. Unfortunately, many who are no longer with us. So just a quick example, if you hit one of those buttons, you're gonna get a lovely piece of, oh, did I not press the button? I thought I did. This would be the part where it doesn't actually work. It is working, okay, cool. I was just standing there like an idiot, like not expecting something to happen. So yeah, there you go. Now, this includes an interview with Joe Atkins, the guy who we, and most people consider, or many people consider to be the guy who took out Michael Wittmann. I'm gonna let you guys enjoy that for a sec. I appreciate you probably can't hear it, but there is text and there are captions.
There was a tank with the trees about 100 yards away, and our guns were facing each other, waiting to the other end of the fire. So this tank had opened up, and the shell was about 2 feet away from that track. I don't think he meant to hit it, so he put it up the side of it. But I think what worried him, we got a 17-pounder on board. So they didn't like that one, because that was the answer to that and get going. So we got to the top of the hill quite safely. So I put a sigh of relief I can tell, because I thought that would be, we'd be taken prisoners or killed.
Luckily, normally, we had a better advantage, but then we were able to get closer to them and settle to the different mechanisms.
Lorenzo, thank you very, very much for your donation. What is the most powerful tank in the collection aside from FE4005? So, use that at that. So, I suppose it depends what you would class as powerful. I will go back and look at previous questions. We've got stuff like the Jagdtiger, which, here's one we found earlier, which obviously that's got that huge 128mm gun, which is undoubtedly and undeniably a very, very powerful, what is that? What is that? What's that look like, a peanut? Anyway. Undeniably a powerful gun and also powerful vehicle, but in reality, I say in reality, in service, these things were not the most effective as they were incredibly heavy. They needed a huge amount of, was that a rubber duck? Is that actually a duck? Oh my gosh, it is a rubber duck. That is so funny. Guys, we have discovered you're right. We have discovered a rubber duck in the end of the barrel of the Jagdtiger. Interesting. The mysteries of the Tank Museum continue. So there we go. So yes, sorry. So in terms of powerful, I think it's more than just guns. We're talking about mobility. We're on about logistics. We're on about armor protection. So I don't think I could really. I don't think I'd be able to pick a very specific thing, but stuff like Jagdtiger obviously were powerful, but in practice they just weren't the most effective. I hope that sort of answers your question. But yes, I won't lie, there was a visitor that was standing right next to me and it actually scared the life out of me, like legit jump scare. I had no idea he was there, and I don't know if he was there before I got there or after. Anyway, speaking of things that are powerful, guys, this is the Stug. This is the Stug 3. Now, compared to stuff like Tiger, Jagdpanther, or Panther, etc., the Stug was the vehicle that got most of the Allied armor kills in World War II. This was the absolute workhorse for the Germans in terms of anti-tank, an anti-tank role. And honestly, it's just a really cool looking vehicle. This also has waffle pattern Zimmerit on it. So Zimmerit, for those of you who don't know, and I say that knowing full well that most of you probably know this, this is Zimmerit. It kind of looks like someone has tried making waffles all over this vehicle. So that is a type of paste that's designed to break up a magnetic connection on the vehicle itself. So the idea is the Germans knew that there were going to be magnetic mines and stuff like that, or magnetic grenades and stuff like that. So they designed this stuff so that if a magnetic grenade was thrown at this, it would basically just fall straight down. I don't have a magnet on me, so I can't demonstrate that, unfortunately. But yeah, the idea is it would mean that magnetic mines and bombs would just fall off the vehicle. What are you talking about? You know what? I ask myself that every day. And so do my colleagues, probably. Sorry, I'm still getting over the fact that it genuinely terrified me. I had no idea there was someone next to me. Oh, God. Oh, gosh. A duck in the car. I can't believe we... I'm still trying to process that we just found a duck at the end of the barrel. Oh, God. Bear with me. I'm just going through a few comments because I don't want to. I'll try not to miss anyone. Okay, sorry. So Scout Gaming 99 has a very good question. So were the Tiger tank crews told how to angle their tanks, considering 100 millimeters of armor isn't really that thick, considering the US had the 76mm gun capable of easily penetrating the frontal armor of the Tiger? Guys, it's story time. Sit down for this one. I see so much stuff online, especially on social media, especially on TikTok, from certain people that have played a certain type of game that focuses in many areas on World War II tanks. And I've seen so many people respond to other people asking if Tiger crews angle their tanks and saying, heard blank knowledge, blah, blah, blah. Guys, get ready, okay? Tiger crews were genuinely taught to angle their tanks. There is basically the Tiger and most other German big cat vehicles and other stuff like Panzer IIIs and IVs, they came with a user's manual on how to operate and look after the vehicle. There is a section in it. For the Tiger, it was called the Tiger Feeble. For the Panther Feeble. And there is a section that specifically says about angling the armor. And I believe the Germans, or at least in the manual, it's referred to as mealtime. But yeah, so German tank crews angling their tanks in World War II is and was a genuine thing. I don't know why I say is. I mean, we're talking past tense, but it is a genuine thing. So yes, there you go. I hope that answers your question. Jeff asked, next time, instead of doing the VCC yet again, please show us around the sheds across Lindsay Road. So, whilst I would love to do that, I'm almost certain I would not be allowed to do that. Simply because, number one, it's not really a public space, and number two, we don't really show off the stuff that's in there unless if there's a vehicle in there that can't be moved and we're doing something about it. So that's kind of I'm sorry it is what it is, but it's pretty much a very much likely no. I can ask about it, but I wouldn't sort of hold out that it's going to be a yes. But yes, so yes, sorry about that. If that was a disappointing answer. Have you watched Girls Unter Panzer Vor? not to be that guy, but myself and many others here at the Tank Museum are big fans of Girls and Panzer. I see loads of people online that are like, oh, Girls and Panzer sucks. No, it doesn't. Girls and Panzer is elite. Ball knowledge, it's brilliant. I watched Girls and Panzer for the very first time when I started seeing screenshots of it going around online, and I was like, as someone who loves military history, I was like, what the heck is this? And I'm seeing screenshots of like gold and pink tanks, and I'm like, this looks really dumb. I'm gonna watch this anime and prove myself right. And it's basically now, it is to this day still one of my favorite anime. There's so much attention to detail in Girls and Panzer. It's just, if any of you listening to me ramble about anime have ever considered watching Girls and Panzer, but you've not been entirely convinced, I'd strongly recommend it. It is so, so good. If there's anybody from Girls and Panzer, and by that I mean anyone that has anything to do with it, we'd love to collab. Moving on. Oh, I missed a donation. Supreme Greaser, thank you so much for that donation. Do you have a tonk? I do have a tonk. Let's go find a tonk. And hopefully it doesn't disconnect. If it does disconnect, I promise you we will be back. But hopefully it doesn't. Oh yeah, I forgot we moved the vehicle in here yesterday. Okay guys, the tank I'm about to show you is not the tank I was going to show you, but it is the tank I'm going to show you now. Big boy. There's a new Girls and Panzer coming out? Ooh, I'm gonna have to look into that. We all know what this is. The big boy. The Doom Barn. Also known as the Censored Beep Barn. That is a 120, sorry, that's a lie. That's a 183 millimeter gun. It's huge, that is huge. Fun fact, if any of you were part of the FE4005 fundraiser, first of all, thank you so much for helping us get this thing back into running order. But number two, if you paid for the tier where you get your name on the vehicle, it means your name is somewhere on this list, which you probably isn't very easy to read. But you know what, for the sake of it, let's do a very, very slow sort of scroll down. Again, you probably can't really see. Oh, hold on, actually that's better. So there you go. And obviously this was a collaboration between World of Tanks, us, and Joe Hughes, also known as Mr. Hughes. Oh gosh, sorry, I accidentally tried to focus on it and now it's gone, oh, there we go. So yeah, there's a lot, a lot of names. Oh, which gun is that? 183 mil, QF 183 mil. I don't know why you can call it quick firing. This thing could fire about 2 rounds per minute. Who's your favorite Girls and Panzer character? Hold on, sorry. I keep accidentally touching the camera, the chat. My favorite Girls and Panzer character is Meiko Reize because she's tired all the time, likes food, and that is literally me in a nutshell. I'm very food and sleep motivated. I love Mr. Hughes' work. His Instagram is real nice. Yeah, guys, if you don't know who I'm talking about, Mr. Hughes, he is a lovely guy who lives up in Leicestershire who helped us restore FE4005, and he also has a load of his own projects. He's got a YouTube channel. He's kind of crazy in all the good ways, and it's just he's a really, really interesting guy who has he does really cool stuff. So do check out his YouTube. What museum has Object 279? I imagine that would be Kabinka. What's your opinion about the Elephant? It's my favorite tank. Well, technically, it's a tank destroyer. I mean, it's It's a It's a Porsche Tiger hull with a superstructure on it. I think it's a very intimidating vehicle. We used to have the elephant here actually at the museum, but it was on loan to us from a museum in America. But yeah, it's cool. We had it when it was part of our Tiger collection. But yeah, a warm thank you for taking care of history from a Finnish man. Thank you, Finnish man. I haven't watched Girls and Panzer, but I might after all this gloating. Got any Finnish armor? We do have Finnish armor. Well, we have Finnish captured armor. We've got the T-34-76, which we showed earlier on. And we also have a Finnish captured T-26, again, unfortunately, in our Vehicle Conservation Center. And I think those are our only 2 bits of Finnish kit that we have. Could be worth us maybe looking for some other stuff. Personally, I would love it if we had a BT-42. Any Swedish tanks in the museum? We have a Stridsvagn 103 and a 104. 103 being the Finnish cheese wedge. Finnish? Sorry, Swedish. The cheese wedge, the S tank. Sorry, that's a Fiat Punto. We're now looking at the back of a Marder. Very cool. German infantry fighting vehicle. I'm going to go through a few more comments. Sometimes I don't want to let too many get away. Yes, so this is our Ukrainian exhibition Samaritan based on the CVRT chassis. We've also got an M113. I think if I go inside this, the audio turns on, and it might be really loud. That's just a headphone warning, I guess. Oh my gosh, I can sit down now. Oh. Heck yeah. We should get a collab between the Bovington Museum and the Armour and Cavalry Museum in Fort Benning. You never know, that might happen. We've actually been doing a little bit more collaboration work over the past few years. We did our biggest collab with another museum last year would have been, again, if anyone here is French, I do apologize if I butcher this, the Musée de Blondie, which is the Samur Tank Museum, which is essentially our French equivalent. They have an absolutely colossal collection of armored fighting vehicles. Droney boy. So last year, they, with the help of World of Tanks, brought over their working King Tiger, which is one of the reasons we were like, you know what, maybe we should do a fundraiser for ours and get ours running. So we also did a little collab at the beginning of the year with the Queensland Museum in Australia, because they have the world's last surviving A7V. So yeah, rectangle with big gun is my favorite. You have successfully described a majority of tanks. Challenger 2, my beloved. We used to have a Challenger 2 in here. This is Challenger 1. No, let's actually go back to Challenger 2. Sorry, I'm not going all over the place. But yes, we did have a... I sometimes forget we have a Challenger 2 in here. We used to have a couple more, but the army took a few back. I wonder why. So yes, Challenger 2. Insert bots in the chat saying that this isn't a very good tank, which I would disagree with. But yes, there you go, Challenger 2. What we're currently using with the British Army, and in recent years, Ukraine as well. Goliath. We do have a Goliath. Should we try and find a Goliath? Very cool photo of a Leopard 2. Wait, no, sorry. Challenger 2 there. How many Churchills have you got? We've got more than 11. Hold on, wait. Yeah, we've got more than 11, I would say. I know that because I did a video a while back on different Churchill variants. So, yes. Most fearsome of all tanks, the Fiat Punto. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up. We had your Tiger 2 in Finland a couple of years ago. Yes, you would have. So that was our pre-production Tiger 2, which kind of did a bit of a European tour, or as I jokingly say, its second European tour, to different museums around Europe. And that is the same. That's the same King Tiger we're trying to get restored on our fundraiser. Did I miss any more? Blitzwing, thank you so much for the donation. Do you think a KV-2 could kill a mouse just like in Girls and Panzer? I would think very much so. I mean, the gun on the KV-2 is pretty incredible compared to some of the other stuff at the time. And with that amount of high explosive, is going to do damage to, I think, pretty much anything it hits. Maybe even modern stuff to an extent. Yes, thank you for the donation. Guys, do you want to see a Rolls Royce? Very cool. This also gives me a chance to stop for a moment. Sorry. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? Ah! Okay, sorry, bear with. Hold on, we got this. There we go. I'm trying to set up my gimbal in a way so it doesn't fall off. I also want a drink of water. How many Japanese tanks do you have? That's easy, we have one. Guys, would you like to see our Japanese tank? Oh, hello. Bear with. How am I saying that name? Can I just say Lordy? Can I get away with that? Lordy, thank you for the support. I love your videos. Will there be an in-depth video on FV4211, which I believe is the Challenger 1 prototype? We do have that in our Vehicle Conservation Center. I don't know if we would. So we did a video, I think last year, no, year before last year, so 2 years ago, on one of our more unusual sort of prototyping sort of vehicles. The team put a lot of hard work and effort into it, and the video just didn't get views, which really disappointed us because it was a really cool story. We had interviews with the people that were part of the program. For those of you wondering, by the way, that video was on the Chieftain Crazy Horse, which was a Chieftain that was heavily modified to be a remote control tank, essentially. If any of you would like to support us and do us a massive favor and have a watch of that, we would really appreciate it. But it's as a result, we've tried to keep our planned future videos a bit more, what's the word? I suppose less niche in terms of very specific vehicles. That being said, a lot of us in the team are still very keen to do more stuff like that. So there is always a possibility, and there is so much cool stuff in our Vehicle Conservation Center. So there's still a very good chance that you might see something like that one day. But there's also so many vehicles to choose from as well. But yes, I think that's a couple of yeses to seeing our one and only Japanese tank. Is Danube. Thank you so much for your donation. I wonder where the A7 went in 2015. Cheeky palms. Yes, so the A7V, the only surviving one is in Australia at the Queensland Museum. We did a video at the beginning of the year on not Villers-Bocage. Oh, it's escaping my head now. Basically, it was the first tank-on-tank battle of World War I. But yes. Okay, guys, here we go. This here is the Type 95 Hargo. And this is one of my favorite tanks. Now, before I go into why this tank is my favorite, would anybody like to, what do you guys think of the Japanese tanks / the Hargo? Aside from it looking very sad in the corner, because it's the only Japanese tank here at the museum. How much are the Tankfest tickets? If you check our website, we've got all of the prices there. There are different types of tickets as well. You can get multiple day tickets, single day tickets, and they're all different prices. Pretty fast. Pelelu. I like it because it goes in Panzer charge. Panzer Vor. The Japanese are kind of underpowered in my opinion. They were decently produced, but armor lacked and the cannons weren't great. I think that's a very fair statement. Interesting in design philosophy. I also agree with that. The Star Wars attack. I like Star Wars. I seem to have many photos of them with Australian bullet holes in them. That's what I think. Fair. Lonely exchange student energy. It kind of do be like that. Little to no armor. Absolute weapon. Okay, so the reason I don't disagree really with any of those comments. So the Japanese, thing to keep in mind, this is a tank that entered production entered service in the early 30s. So, you know, almost a decade before the start of World War II. So these saw a lot of combat against the Chinese during the Second Sino-Japanese War. Now, these weren't designed to take on other tanks. They were also designed to be light and to be quick. But yeah, armor wasn't really the priority in terms of protection, in terms of what this is for. The tank, for the most part, is designed to support infantry. And that is what this could also do. It's a very quick vehicle, but yeah, it is lacking armor. Now, in terms of design philosophy, or at least in terms of engineering, for me, I find this tank really interesting. So keep in mind, this is an early 1930s design. This tank has a diesel engine, which is really quite, in regards to like tanks in the interwar period, is kind of unheard of. Most tanks in the world were being powered by gasoline, petrol engines, whereas this used a diesel engine. It's a Mitsubishi inline 6, if I remember correctly. And I'm very lucky to have been able to hear this tank run, not this particular tank, but the only running one in the world a few years ago at Tankfest. And yes, really, really cool. So very smart in terms of engineering, in terms of like the engine, because again, diesel is a lot less. It's a lot less violent compared to petrol. But yeah, also another fun fact: there's a secret doorbell at the back of this tank. Now, if I put my light on, so you see this vehicle it's got a frame and rivet construction. Sorry. And it's got a hidden doorbell at the back here. So if I press that, I don't know if you can really see that. Sorry, it would help if I actually had my camera on it. There you go. So that is a buzzer. Ring doorbell sound effects. So the idea being, if there was a Japanese crew inside this, which presumably there would be because it was a Japanese tank, and if there was some Japanese infantry around the outside of the tank who wanted to talk with the crew inside, they will know that there is a buzzer at the back there. Or if a member of this crew got out for whatever reason and they wanted to come back in, they know there's a buzzer there. If there were American troops or British troops, and they try and get the crew out of this, if there was a situation where they're like knocking, like maybe they've caught them unaware, they do not know that there's a buzzer at the back to tell the crew inside that someone is trying to communicate with them. So yeah, really, really cool. Very cool. Japanese tanks are goated. They were built perfectly for their terrain and used especially for an island nation. Yes, I would agree. I'm a bit biased though because this is my favorite tank. I say that one of the reasons this is one of my favorite tanks. I promise you this is the last I'll talk about the Hargo because I've been rambling for a while and I don't want to bore everyone. So the only running Type 95 Hargo in the world was here at the Tank Museum a few years ago. It was owned by a lovely gentleman called Oliver Barnum, who brought it down to the Tank Museum. Now, this guy bought a Type 95 Hargo off of a guy in Japan. He then took that tank and restored it to running condition with the help of some other people. And so that was the only, and I think that still is the only running Type 95 Hargo in the world. And I was lucky enough to be invited to his farm, which is not far from here, with one of his colleagues who helped work on it. And I got to go inside and drive around the inside of the only Type 95 Hargo in the world with a genuine, authentic engine. And it was absolutely incredible. The inside of this tank is so incredibly cramped. I wish I could help you guys sort of understand how cramped it is in here. This is for a crew of 3. You've got a bow machine gunner who would be just behind there. You've got the driver who's just behind there. And you've got the commander who is in the turret up there, who is massively overworked, by the way. He's firing the main gun. He's commanding the crew. He's firing the 5 o'clock machine gun, which is in a really awkward position. You can see just there that it's not pointing directly back. And yeah, it's just, in terms of ergonomics, this tank is terrible. I would say, I think is a fair thing to say. But yeah, it was just so cool being able to be inside the only running one of this in the world. Also, the traverse and the gun aiming is done entirely by hand. There isn't like an electrically assisted turret traverse, and the gun here can actually move independent from the rest of the tank. So if I can move this like that, which allows the commander to have more, what's the word, not detailed, finer controls of the gun when aiming. So I think it's a really, really cool tank. It might not have had the most power, and maybe loads of people think, oh, they're rubbish tanks, they have no armor, yada, yada, yada. But these weren't designed to take on other tanks. They were designed to do a very specific role, and I think they did them pretty well. I'm going to stop rambling now. Sorry, I probably missed so many questions. Let's go look at something else while I go look at questions. Love me some pre-war tanks. So many crazy ideas going on. I agree. Is it derived from the Vickers 6-ton? Yes, it was. So, dang it. I said I wasn't going to talk more about the Hargo. Guys, I promise I'll make this really, really quick. So the Vickers 6-ton, also, it was a British tank that was designed for export, also known as the Vickers Mark E. We sold it to many different countries, but if you look at it from the side, you can kind of see the similarities in terms of how it looks. But yes, I kind of want to go more into it, but I said I wouldn't talk too much more about the Hargo, so I'm sorry. So it's a Japanese Stuart. You could say that, but I think the Stuart is definitely a better tank. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I'm like full-blown rambling. I did not miss the L3. I did show it earlier, but I will show it again. This isn't boring. Thank you. I don't know. I end up going in my own little world when I'm like talking about something, especially if it's something I'm like really interested in. So there you go. There's the L3 35 Carro Veloce. The gun was 37mm, by the way. As you can probably tell, I'm still on the comments talking about the Hargo. Is the Type 95 better than the early war Polish tanks? I would say probably yes, and by early Polish tanks, the first thing that comes to mind is the, I think it's the, what's it called? The TP, it's a tank that, again, it is derived from the Vickers Mark E, the 6-tonner. Can you show the unique Russian tank of your choice? I'm going to assume by that you mean Soviet. The only Soviet stuff we really have in this hall was in the Ukraine exhibition, which I did show earlier. I think the more interesting stuff is again in the VCC. Why do so many Japanese and some Russian ones have those weirdly aimed machine guns? If you're referring to the 5 o'clock machine gun, it's because there is simply not enough room in the back of that turret to actually have it facing directly backwards. So the 5 o'clock machine gun is in a position where the commander doesn't actually have to move. Obviously they can traverse, sorry, that's a bit gross. They don't have to traverse the turret, sorry. They don't need to, they don't have to actually move around in the turret, so to speak. They can traverse the whole turret and everything stays where they need it to be. I'm sorry if I'm not explaining it quite great, but basically very limited space on the inside of the turret. So the 5 o'clock machine gun is put in a position where the commander can very easily access it without really having to move around. I think I finally got there in the end. What's the biggest tank you've got here? Let's go have a look. And hopefully we don't lose connection this time. Guys, I just want to say so far, thank you so much for tuning into the live. I am Fam, and we are the Tank Museum here in Bovington, in Dorset. Please do double tap that screen if you're enjoying what you're seeing to help support us. And it means a lot to us. We are a not-for-profit, and we're just trying to keep history alive, tell the story of tanks and the people that serve inside them. And yeah, I think the telling the stories part is my favorite part. The thing is, we have loads of all these different vehicles and relics and stuff, but if we can't talk to people about it, then it's almost redundant. All this stuff is here so that we can share it with other people from around the world, of all ages, for people who have not just people who have an interest in military history, but for those who don't know they can be interested in military history. So this here, I'm sorry, this does not need any introduction. You guys already know what this is. I also apologize in advance for any loud noises. We are by the soft play. Train. Everyone's just saying train. Why? Everyone's just saying train. I mean, it is about as long as a train. So yes, this is TOG 2. Okay, guys, for you nerds in the chat, what does TOG stand for? And whilst you guys are showing off your brilliant knowledge, I'm going to go stand in front of this thing to give you a sense of scale. I'm also going to move the sign. This thing is absolutely massive. Huge, huge tank. Sometimes I forget how massive this tank is. And I work here. You come down and you're like, yep, that's a big tank. The old gang, yeah, you guys got it, the old gang, that is it. The old gang, because the old gang were the guys who designed the first tanks of World War I. So TOG 2 is basically just World War I Tank 2 electric boogaloo. Gosh, that was an awful way of explaining it, fam, what's wrong with you? TOG 2 is facing off what is probably our widest tank in our museum. That is the, what was I about to say? The tortoise. Are you just small? I am not that small. I'm 5'10". Tank, overly gigantic, yes. I want your job, I'll pay you. It's gonna have to be a no, but thank you for the enthusiasm. You should stand in front of FE4005. Yeah, let me do that actually. It's literally right behind me. This thing is just insanely big. Hold on, let me... Does that work? Actually, hold on, no, let me put it on. Okay, right, guys, are you ready for this? It's gonna be one of those things where I'm walking towards the tank and I just keep walking towards it and it keeps getting bigger. So this is FV4005, as we know because we've already spoken about it, but this thing is absolutely massive. Just an insane piece of engineering. Freaking huge, 183mm gun, crazy. That's bigger than some guns that are on ships. Big boy, big boy. Sorry, my gimbal's doing a thing. That's a cool shot actually. You've got FE4005, you've got TOG 2 in the background, and then you've got Tortoise, you've got Centurion Mark 13, I think, and a Challenger 1. And a Chieftain, and a Conqueror, and a Partridge in a Pear Tree. Good evening, good evening. I want to go to the UK so bad just to see the Tank Museum, but I live in NJ. I'm guessing New Jersey? For any of you who want to visit the Tank Museum but are like not entirely convinced in terms of travel, if you're traveling to the UK internationally, it's actually quite easy to get to us. So again, this is for people who are genuinely considering like actually visiting the museum. You basically land in London Heathrow. London has TfL, which is the Transport for London. It's a fantastic network of different train lines and stuff, but it's really easy to get around. Like there's an app called City Mapper. If you go and look at the store, Apple Store, Play Store, green app, City Mapper will literally tell you how to get around so easily. So picture this: you want to see the Tank Museum. You land at London Heathrow. You can get the underground from there to London Waterloo, which is a train station. Well, it's an area that happens to also have a train station called London Waterloo. Anyway, you get on the South Western Railway service, which will take you all the way to a train station called Wool. Wool as in wool, like cotton wool, WOOL. So you can basically take a plane, land in London, take a couple of short underground trips, then get on a longer train service that takes you all the way here. And it's genuinely quite easy. Put it this way, if you're thinking to yourself, oh, it would probably be easier to hire a car and drive here, I guarantee you it's not. That is way more complicated. It's so easy to get here. And if you are gonna visit here, if you wanna really take in everything that you can in sort of a short amount of time, I'd strongly recommend Tankfest. And again, Tankfest, 3 days of tank insanity. Of tanks driving around outside. We get reenactors who come down from all over the place. We get guest vehicles, some vehicles that we can't announce yet because they're not entirely confirmed. Some really special stuff that I literally cannot say because if I did, I probably wouldn't be hosting the next live. But basically, there's so many cool vehicles down here. We get about 30, 40, 50 vehicles driving around outside. You get to talk with the tank crews. We have markets, we have stalls. Like, there's so much stuff. And that's mainly stuff on the outside of the museum. Then you have the collection on the inside here. So we've got over 150 tanks in our collection. Over 110 of those are in the reserve collection in our Vehicle Conservation Center. I forget how many are even in the main museum now. There are just so many tanks here. So yeah, if you're the kind of person who wants to take in everything as much as possible, at the Tank Museum, Tankfest is probably going to be it. If you're the kind of person who's not really into loud stuff, which might sound weird, but everyone's different, I'd recommend coming around the colder months of the year, where we sometimes have the busiest times of the year here at the Tank Museum are wet days in summer, where we sometimes get over 3,000 people here. The polar opposite of that is the colder months of the year, like the beginning of the year and the end of the year. There are days here where we get less than 50 people. If you want it would be cold because it would be winter. If you just want to walk around the museum and not be disturbed by people, not have loads of crowds, if you're introverted and you'd rather just sort of stick to yourself and enjoy stuff around you without being interrupted, come here during the colder months of the year, so the beginning and the end of the year. Oh my gosh, that was a lot of rambling. Anyway, hopefully I may have convinced some of you to come visit. I'm now going to catch up on a few comments because I appreciate I was rambling for a lot there. Oh my gosh, look, it's a Goliath. Is April quiet? I don't believe so because we've got Easter coming up and we will have like the half term and stuff like that. So lots of school kids running around. So yeah, please stop making it look so fun. I can't go. I'm sorry. So guys, that is, I hate to say it, that is it for the live stream today. I've actually gone over by about half an hour. We've been streaming for about an hour and a half in total. So, hold on guys, I need to do this properly. You guys have given us your attention for a long amount of time. Might as well do it properly. I'm Fam. We're here at the Tank Museum. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this live stream. If you want to see more tank stuff, if you're not tanked out enough, do check out the rest of our YouTube channel. If you're someone who's a bit more mellow and just wants to chill out, listen to some tank information, check out our long form videos. We've got literally hundreds of videos on this YouTube channel. If you're a gamer like myself and you're chilling and you've got a second monitor, you want something playing on that and it to be about tanks, check out our long form stuff. If you're a bit raw like myself, who has not the best attention span, maybe a bit of ADHD like myself, do check out our short form content. There's literally hundreds of videos as well. Yeah, lots of cool stuff, lots of memey stuff, funny stuff, informative stuff. And again, if you want to help us get our King Tiger running, not this one, our pre-production one, check our fundraiser. It's tankmuseum.org/KTV2. I'm sure our lovely moderator will put a link in the chat now if you want to check that out. But yes, if you want us to do more live streams, go on our channel and go on the post section, which is mostly managed by our moderator, who's also modding the chat right now. Let them know in our most recent post what kind of stuff you want to see on live stream. If you want to see certain parts of the museum or stuff like that, let us know and we'll be happy to try and sort something out for you guys. So thank you guys so much. I am Fam, and wherever you're watching, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Thank you so much for tuning in and have a great day. Oh look, it's one of our lovely media team. Do you want to big up the channel for us?
Yeah, sure. So,
Just don't get us demonetized.
No. So, hi guys, I'm the filmmaker, editor, cameraman for the YouTube channels. So, quickly, obviously you're watching here on Instagram, YouTube. So, obviously you're already here on YouTube. Go check out our main channel, Tank Museum, and also the Tank Museum workshop for all the workshop stuff. We put a lot of time and effort into the videos, and we really need your guys' support to beat the YouTube algorithm, because they're not keen on the military stuff at the moment. So we need you guys. So go check it out. Thanks, fam.